You can't do that. People don't do that here. These are common phrases in my household. This is what happens when your mother is from far West Coast Southern California and your father is from far East Coast New Jersey. Somehow they combined all their opposite traits and managed to raise a couple decent children. But together they also were able to teach us 3 very important lessons. The first one is how to have a great time on a very little amount of money. And the second one is how to understand all of American culture. The third one is the importance of being a really informed and educated citizen during election years. So a story that exemplifies my first point on having a great time on a little bit of money happened a couple years ago on Christmas Eve. My family was driving home and we had still not found a Christmas tree. My family had been putting it off because a Christmas tree is at least $25, and to us that was kind of a lot of money at the time. So my mom says, we just have to find a Christmas tree for the kids. And my dad says, I know, so why don't we just bite the bullet, pay the $25 for a Christmas tree? And my mom said, no, of course we're not going to do that. We're not going to pay full price for something that we're going to enjoy for maybe one night until New Year's Day. So my dad said, all right, what do you want to do? She said, well, we're going to drive around Centralia. We're going to look for a free Christmas tree. Somehow this worked. We drove around Centralia and we found a little tiny 3-foot chubby Christmas tree outside a taco stand. And my mom thought, quick, take it! It's almost 11 o'clock at night. No one's gonna miss it, and they obviously don't want it anymore. It was by their trash. So my dad, of course, said, people don't do that. So she said, all right, it is kind of strange, so I'll walk up to their window. And the restaurant was closed. There was just a couple dishwashers left. So she walked up to their window, knocked on their window, and said, excuse me, can we take this tree? And I'm not even sure they knew what she was talking about, but all they could manage to say was, take it and go. Yes, leave. Just whatever you need to leave, just leave. So she did, with the Christmas tree. And we were all happy because we made a paper chain and we decorated it that night and everything was great. So obviously my parents had 2 very different solutions to this problem, but in the end it just created a really good time. The second lesson that I've learned from my parents is how to appreciate all of American culture. And this doesn't happen so much in our specific household, but on family visits, when we're with extended aunts, uncles, and cousins, things get really interesting because my mom's family is very relaxed and laid back, and it's just, you know what, we're going to have food from maybe 2 to 4, show up whenever you want, bring something, we'll play some music. And my dad's family says, I have a specific list of events that we're going to go to, so please plan to arrive 5 minutes early because we'd really hate to ruin this whole day. So we've learned to be kind of good with both sides of that spectrum. If someone's really relaxed, you know, we'll relax about it, but if someone really wants us 5 minutes early, we'll get there 5 minutes early. It's totally fine. The third lesson they taught me through a lot of years, and I haven't been through that many elections, I'm still pretty young, but as long as I can remember, since the last election with the Bushes, we have paid so much attention to the presidential debates and a presidential campaign. Specifically when it comes to the presidential debates, time stops in my household. When there's a debate that night, no one leaves our house, no one wants to. Everyone just automatically gravitates to being together, to hanging on to everything that's going to happen that night between these candidates. And we will cook a special dinner, we will clean the house, invite a few really good friends over, and we will just hang on to every word and compare it with what we know that candidate has done in their history. And then an hour or 2 will go by afterwards and we're still talking about it, and we'll probably continue talking about it until the next debate. And this happens from the primaries all the way to the final general election debate. And it's really a lot of fun, but it also, through that fun, I learned a lot of how important it is to be very aware during election season. So even though my parents are very different, I really learned a lot from their differences and their similarities. So from these 3 lessons, the first one being how to have a great time on a little bit of money, the second one being how to appreciate all of American culture from coast to coast, and the third one being how to really be an aware and active citizen, informed during an election. All of those my parents have approached very differently, but I would really encourage you to pay attention to the differences and similarities in your parents and anyone really around you, because you can learn a lot from the things that people disagree on when people approach a solution differently. So, and with that, I thank you.